All right, aloha everyone. Thank you for coming out today and welcome to the launch of Kipuka, Finding Refuge in Times of Change, Bamboo Ridge issue 119. My name is Alan Ching. I'm a local fiction writer here in Hawaii. I helped to edit this issue along with Brenda Kwan, Meredith Adesha Enos, and Misty Lynn Sanico. This is a very special issue. We started on the issue in 2019, and it rose out of a need to reflect on and consider life in contemporary Hawaii and the various challenges facing the communities here. And this central question, if nothing is static and everything changes, in what can we anchor? Shortly after we began work on the issue, COVID-19 hit, and we were faced with numerous crises, new, old, and ongoing, and still are facing many of these. So we continue to accept submissions in order to provide a platform for the poems, stories, and voices that were coming in. This issue covers many areas and themes, including colonialism, demilitarization, loss, grief, climate change, Mauna Kea, water rights, immigration, and cultural identity. Language is also heavily featured, including work in Pidgin and Olila Hawaii. And it also features 4 contemporary artists, Nanea Lum, Makai Tubbs, Wooden Wave, and Corey Tom. This issue also features a diverse collection of authors and artists, emerging and established, many of whom are new to Bamboo Ridge, and I'm so happy to have 4 of those authors here with us today. And so we will begin, and the way that we'll do the session is we'll have each of the authors read today, and then at the end, we'll have some time for questions and answers and talk story. All right, so we're gonna begin with Joanna, so I'll go ahead and read your bio, Joanna, and we'll get started. All right, Joanna Gordon is a writer from the gentrified swamplands of East Honolulu. She is a first-year PhD candidate studying storytelling and rhetoric at Indiana University and has degrees from the University of Hawaii at Manoa and Western Washington University. Her poems and prose have been published with Cherry Tree, the Tenderness Project, Blood Tree Literature, The Shore, Oxford Press, Nimrod, and more. Her poems are interested in notions of belonging, joy, settler colonialism, and more. In her spare time, Joanna enjoys scalding cups of coffee, hiking, bright lipstick, and the company of great friends.
Aloha, everybody. I thank you for joining us today. Like Donald said, I'm coming from Indiana, so actually it should be good evening because it is 10 o'clock here. I will be sharing a couple poems with you guys today. I just wanted to take a small second to kind of like situate where these poems are coming from. I wrote a lot of these poems in my first 2 years of living on the mainland. I was, born and raised in Hawaii, and we always know that we're going to go mainland at some point, but I wasn't really prepared for what that would look like or what that would be or how that would feel. And I think with these poems, I was kind of searching to find the voices that I heard growing up and bring them with me, bring them to the mainland, bring them as as strength and as remembrance, and finding ways for me to situate myself with my culture as, not a Kanaka Maoli, but someone who has ties still to the land and still to where we come from and wants to honor that and pay attention to that. So I just want to situate where I am in terms of where these poems came from. A lot of sad nights in my apartment. But I'll start with this poem. It's called A Glossary for a Storm. And it features a bunch of different words that I just kind of kept coming back to. I'll start now. Glossary for a storm. Fish, noun. Place 2 crabs in a bucket to see what she must become to survive. In the after, she is more gill than breath, more laughter than heart, 2 chambers instead of 4, always preparing for a gust of wind to become a storm. Ghost, noun. A conjuring that comes from a damaged body, a reconfiguration of the living, a desire that becomes a damage, or what licks its fingers, bites its own nails, swallows stones. In the face of reconciliation, she will spit out her own tongue, a refusal to stop its own form of resolving. Girl, verb. Pulled from weeds, still blooming, smelt and eaten with salt and vinegar, stuck between snaggletooth rocks, coveted, curated, traveled, remade from plastic, classified by size, arranged, made public, sold, made wild again, melted down to metal shanks, revenged, avenged, wrecked, wrought, weighed, wanted, a desire yet to be seen. Holy, noun. The cleaving between settler and haunting, the shadow passing over the freeway on a clear day, a curse hitching a ride to Old Pali Road, repelled by blood and raw pua'a. What visits for 2 days, for 5 days, for a month, a romanticized fantasy, a sunburnt menace, the none otherwise specified body, a halflander or pale skin chasing tradition. Haunt, verb, to echo, to scare yourself back into skin, a slick groan, a story that is your mother's too, a single beat, the time it takes for a body to splinter, a ritual of holding breath at night, when you wipe down the counters with bleach and his blood. For example, I don't want to haunt you, but I already have. Home, noun. A roughness between Malka and Makai, between rock and a foreign place, like the crushed plastic run smooth, like what gets left out on the beach, Jimmy Boy's slipper and a few beer cans, what the ocean swallows or spits out, like if you place a rock on the shoreline and it does not get washed away, what remains? Island, noun. A geographically isolated body, a single storm blowing shrill, like a plastic whistle, a belly that feeds mountains, the nene bird flying east to west, a concrete mouth, a gasoline river traveling from valley to sea, a city of immigrants, a city of refugees, a city with missing natives, trapped inside a can of breasted spam. Mercy, verb. Once, during a tsunami advisory, my sister and I hiked the top of Cocoa Head Crater with binoculars and watched the tides suck on the wind. It kind of looked like pulling the lips back to reveal a set of teeth. And still, when our parents asked, "What did you see?" all we could say was water, which is to say, to become the first breath before a storm, the gift a ghost grants you, even if it's not really a gift, but just the illusion of it. Origin, noun. Of daughter, of sister, of mother, of nuclear family, of homeland we do not visit, born from wine, bathed in chicken broth, raised among pencil shavings, of typewriter dust, of mango, the romance in coconut surf wax, of ashes buried in the backyard, of the things that I never met, never held, of holding space for a stillness, a way of being of you and so also of me. Sex, adjective. Once he took me without warning. Once he took me without reason. I searched the hook of my body for answers. For months I pulled him and each other man from me. A spool of silk nets. I tangled them into knots. Around my fingers a web. Yes, please stop. No, thank you, no. I pulled my consent from my body and knitted song after song.
Kia ora, everyone. Happy to be here. Thank you, Donald, for the intro. And just Joanna's so good. And she's one of my best friends, and I love her so much. So I have 2 poems in this Kipuka collection. The first, they both kind of relate to similar things, but the first one I think has a lot to do with learning to find refuge and a sense of home and belonging despite like all the things thrown at me as a diasporic Māori. And then the last one is the same thing, but is learning to find it in the most unexpected place, I think, to find belonging, which is in town and in the city and in urban spaces. Sorry about the motorcycle. Okay, so this first one is called Other People, and it's kind of like a back and forth between me and things that have been told to me throughout my life. Okay. Come home. Go home. The only way to connect is by being at home. Well, then will you pay for my ticket? Get me on a plane every time I need it? Or will you find the tree, teach me to carve and shape the waka, show me how we used to move between motsu, glide with it, hoi, hoi, hoi ara like horota with it, all the way back to Te Tairāwhitine? You should learn the reo. Kau, korero I te reo Māori girl, you can make time for the reo, no excuses. So you're spotting the fees for the lessons then? Shut, bro, you topping up my hop card as well, since I'm probably busing it to all these wānanga. How about when I want to practice? Will you practice with me? Or am I too taina for you? Will you promise to hold me when Matsua shames me in the marae? Get me a brand new blackened tongue since mine is too bleached. Blood, blood, blood. Yeah, about that one. I don't remember where I put mine. Can I borrow yours, sis? Can you show me again how deep I'm supposed to dig? How much of the guts I need to show and how to put them all back in again when done? Will you send me the papers for the land after? For belonging? Will this hurt my future children as badly as it hurts their mother? Ko hikurangi te maunga, ko waiapu te awa, ko ngati parau te iwi. How often have you sent uenuku just for me? How can I smell your smoky morning all the way from Hawaii? When I finally make it up the manga, will you hold the sun for me? Why did it take me so long to open to you? To see you in the sky, the street, music, my smile, and how silly it'd be to ever let go after all that.
Hi, thanks. I was hoping I could go first after what I just heard. I guess I'll be the comic relief. I'm not super prepared. My stuff is pretty short. I don't know how it fits into Kipuka, but here we go. Colin, I guess I'll start with that first slide, Contraflow. Yeah, I shouldn't have teased the zine in my bio because I usually don't do well on anybody's deadlines. So I didn't finish the new Kaniela ink, can't know this. Actually, it would be issue 1, but here he is on the last issue of Contraflow. And that is up on my Facebook page, Hostage Zine, HOSTAGEZINE. So the whole zine's up there, and it's kind of about, you might have heard well, it's not a new term, but you might have recently heard the term TERF introduced, I guess, widely by Mr. Chappelle, but there's also SWERFs. We got SWERF and TERF, and SWERFs are sex worker, exclusionary radical feminists. So a lot of my work recently has been covering stuff like that. Thanks for that slide, Colin. So I guess as a sex worker, I have to put a lot of stuff out there that, trying to get some business. And so the poem that I have in the thing is a little vague. I guess I look, whatever, here it goes. I tried to make it sound cute, and there might be a TikTok dance that could go with it, but I'm 51, I don't know how to do that stuff. So it goes, it's called Personal. I just want kuku mahu, who like hook up with you. So if you rock, rap, write, publish, paint, paddle, parkour, DJ, dance, design, surf, snowboard, skate. You like go on one date or what? I'm not one slut. I just like to look and act like one. Cause, well, it's fun, cause. So if you think so, you can, whoa, man, handle this punky kind of funky, small kind chunky, pot junkie, free mail, send her an email with some pics of your face, dicks, and or feet. Then maybe we could meet for some sweet tricks. My treat. Oh, and like the song say, local boys, no oi. Okay.
Aloha, everybody. Salam alaikum. First of all, my sincere apologies for jumping on late. And I'm always just so amazed by the poetic outpourings of all of, you know, the community here. And I've been so honored and privileged really to be in these spaces and hope to do it justice. I mean, I'm just a hip hop artist when it really comes down to it. But hip hop has been a path for me to really, you know, explore who I am and also the spaces that I'm in. And, you know, I'm always just blown away by the talent that I'm surrounded by. So my piece is called Grateful. And it's actually the last song on my most recent album titled Second Language. And it really is kind of my ode of gratitude to Hawaii in a sense. And so I'm just going to perform it. I'm going to put on the beat and perform it for you guys if that's okay for everybody. So I'm just going to get it going here. How's that sound? You guys can hear that? Everybody hear that? Yeah. I'd like to conclude for you, Illnomadic 2, second language. My cauldron's got that stew, a mix of many places. My trace is very spacious. Had to be courageous, walk the path of the ageless. These sacred reflections, dimmer off the stainless. When the stain sits, invisible to digest. Underneath the pressure is where raw beauty manifests. My final fantasy, the contents of my pages. The story of a child who had to wear many faces. The taste is bitter, but it helped me see the matrix. Every stranger, they learned lessons through the fakeness. Searching for that greatness, didn't take it to heart. The art of having patience, put the horse before the cart. I avoid division, listen to my inner vision. It's Nick Kurosawa. Yeah. Give me light, give me breath, I'll give you all of my love. My bad. Decisions based on lessons piling up at intersections. I arise, find the stereos projecting it in rhythm. We are meaning musical communicative line of delivering. Yeah. This content constructed in the presence of the ko'olaus, cascading energy hit you in the po'o now. Serenade your cerebellum, symmetry so obvious. Justice and indigenous sovereignty is synonymous. Time for this metropolis, seek to be autonomous. No more the 4-4, the corpse of the apocalypse. My confidence is through the roof. I'm a survivalist. Illnomadic, supporter of Anonymous, supporter of the movement to end all politics, supporter of the people who protect the sacred places. Chance to be together, since always expanding. Yeah. Give me light, give me breath, I'll give you all of my love. Give me life, give me death, let me work my way up. Give me truth, give me honor, I'll make magic with my alchemy. Grateful for what the universe invested in me, I'm grateful for the time that you spent listening to my prose. Hope you caught my intent, and I'll close with a last thing that needs to be said. Turn your heva into pono, make gold from lead. I'm so grateful to Hawaii and Kanaka Maoli, showing me aloha through the sharing of their stories, teaching me a refugee of ways of their ancients to live aloha aina with respect to the sacred. Yo, Otoro, we made it. It's been a long time, and the people, they've been waiting. No more debating. Time to hit the pavement. Zambu Records, peace and love, we be making.